Okay, I think we're ready to go. Good morning, everybody. I'm Bryce Hamilton. I'm on the forum committee, And it's great to have you here today. I know we have scores and scores of people who are watching us online, given the weather, but we've got a nice group here. It's going to be a wonderful presentation. I was fortunate enough, I think several of you were with me last fall when we had a tour of Minneapolis College. And it's an amazing school, and not enough people know about it. And we're going to hear more today, a particular program in that. The school itself, we all were so impressed with the multitude of classes leading to a variety of career choices. And also the staff and the instructors were magnificent, and just a beautiful cross-cultural student population. Very, very impressive. We'll hear a little bit later about another tour coming up, and you want to go. I'm going again, and it's April 30th, and we'll have more information on that. That's going to be great. One of the tour leader or organizer last year was our own Linda Sartorius. She's been a very active supporter of the college for many years, and she's going to introduce our guests. Linda?
Oh, I'm happy and so excited to introduce this program this morning. We have with us several representatives of Minneapolis College, also known as Minneapolis Community and Technical College, which is located very near here, just down on Loring Park, so practically in our own backyard. And the program that we're going to hear about today is called TREC, T-R-E-C, which stands for Transformation and Reentry through Education and Community. And it's focused on offering educational opportunities to students who were or are incarcerated. And not only that, but they are dedicated to offering wraparound services, support, and resources that enable these students to stay in school and finish their program. But first, before I turn it over, I just want to tell you a very quick story about how I got involved with Minneapolis College. In the late 1980s, a church member, Jack Parsons, who some of you are lucky enough to remember, invited me to join him on the Citizens Advisory Committee of Minneapolis Community College, which is what it was called back then. So I served on that committee for a number of years until the community colleges and the technical colleges merged in, I think, 1997. Well, then years go by, and a few years ago, John and I moved downtown to Loring Green and realized that our windows looked right down on the college campus. So we decided it was time to re-engage. We did. One thing led to another, and now I serve on the board of the College Foundation, which is how I know Beverly Wadsworth, who is the director of that foundation and also the director of institutional advancement. And she's going to give us a quick overview of the school and introduce Mike Velasano, who is the director of the TREC program, and he is here with one of the students in that program. So, Beverly.
Good morning, everyone. It's amazingly great to be here in this warm room and with all your shiny, smiling faces. And hello to all of you online as well. I'm Beverly Wadsworth. I'm the director of the foundation at Minneapolis College. Minneapolis College serves about 9,000 students each year, and we have our largest group of students are actually on the track, liberal arts track, and transferring to a 4-year institution or using a 2-year degree in some area in a career in the Twin Cities. We also have trades. We have HVAC is one of our big trades, CNC machining, welding. We have aircraft maintenance and repair, which is a really cool program, I think. And just serving students primarily in the Hennepin County area, students who come from Minneapolis Public Schools primarily and surrounding area. So I have the privilege of introducing Mike Velasano, who is our director of the TREC program. at Minneapolis College. Prior to Minneapolis College, Mike was at the University of Minnesota for 13 years. He has a PhD, and he served as an adjunct faculty there, a research assistant in the College of Education and Human Development. He's also very into the outdoors, I believe. He's a personal trainer and coach, so, fit guy. He's also worked in some roles in higher ed football as well. So he just brings a wealth of experience and knowledge to his role at Minneapolis College. I think he teaches in the prisons as well as running the program itself. So with that, I would like to welcome Mike Valisano to the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I love that response. My name is Mike Valisano. I'm the director of the TREC program. And first, I just want to thank you all for having us today, particularly John and Linda, Bryce for helping organize this, and Beverly for giving us the opportunity. Any chance we get to kind of spread our mission, our word, and our work, we don't take that lightly, so appreciate you having us. It feels great to be here. Just coming here, I did a little bit of research on the church, and just blown away by what you all do, by what the church does out in the community, and adjacent to the work we do. So again, thank you. I'll turn it over to Khalil, let him introduce himself.
Good morning, everybody. Yeah, I do. I like that. I like that response as well. My name is Khalil Zeno. Like they said, I'm a TREC student, student worker. I work in the TREC Center at the college. I have been recently released. I was released in August. I've been in school since then. I started school, I wanted to say the spring of 2022, and I've been at it ever since. When I tell you the TREC Center has really transformed my life and turned my life around, I sincerely, genuinely mean that. They are doing some great work there at that school. So, yeah, turn it over to you.
What are you studying?
I'm a liberal arts major right now. I haven't decided on what exactly, any specific major, so I'm kind of just doing a generals program right now. So.
And when Khalil says we're doing great things, he's including himself in that. Khalil's he's he's a worker, ambassador at our college. He opens our TREC Center every morning. We're open 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Khalil's making coffees, putting food out, helping other students with homework, helping folks get their IDs, get housing upon release. We couldn't do this work without Khalil and our other folks that have come home. So deep appreciation for you and everybody else.
Is the center housed at MCTC and also inside the prison?
Yeah, so we're a college and prison program, meaning that we have about 200 students who are currently incarcerated, either at Lino Lakes Correctional Facility, Stillwater, or Faribault Correctional Facilities. So 200 students on the inside that remain inside of their prison, and we actually call those our campuses. They're HLC accredited campuses, so those are our satellite campuses. And then this semester we have 65 students who have been released and that are now taking classes on our main campus. So 200 that are on the inside, 65 that have been released on our main campus now. And so we have a dedicated center called the TREC Center on Minneapolis College campus right on Loring Park. Up on the screen here we have our mission statement. So we provide college degree programs to incarcerated and justice impacted students as pathways to sustainable careers, community engagement, carceral reduction, and lifelong freedom. The term in there is justice impacted students. So when we first started this program, we were just focused on students we programmed with on the inside, and then when they transitioned home, we continued programming with them. And there was kind of an inflection point last year that we realized that we have a ton of students that are already on our campus who have been involved with the justice system or been incarcerated or who have had parents who are incarcerated. So we kind of opened our scope a little bit and we said, how many students do we have in our state on our campus, within our Min-State system, that is justice impacted. And justice impacted is you've either been incarcerated, your parents have been incarcerated, your kids have been incarcerated, or incarceration in the justice system has affected your life. And for folks who are justice impacted, there's certain resources, there's certain needs, there's certain sources of belonging that are needed to pursue an education, to feel a part of a community. So that's what we try to offer. The picture up on the board is intentional. We use a lot of mariner and water analogies. So what we have there is a ship inside of a bottle. And when our students are incarcerated, they're contained. Khalil and others will tell you that prison is a very noisy place. It's physically noisy, but it's also mentally noisy. It's cloudy. It's hard to have clear trains of thought. You're separated from our families. And so we're contained. And while our students are contained, there's options for development, for work on the inside, so that when that bottle breaks and our students come home, they're not just on a life raft, or they're not just on some small shift trying to navigate these big waters of life.
Ready to sail.
Yep. We're trying to build a ship in the bottle. So when that bottles break and our students are home, they can be captains of their own ship. They can navigate the big waters to go through life, and be successful and not have to go back to incarceration. So who are our TREC students? I ask our students this a lot, who are you? And first and foremost, our students would always describe themselves as fathers.
Fathers, mothers, humans, family members. I'm a brother, a friend, a mentor, an art lover, a person.
That's right. And first and foremost, that our students are just like we are. They're exactly the same. Maybe they grew up in the wrong zip code. Maybe they didn't have the resources or the parenting structure when they were younger, but our students are just like we are. So we have 350 full-time students. This is across our AA and our BA program. We partner with Metropolitan State University in Eastside St. Paul to deliver BA bachelor's degrees. So we're a community college. We deliver the first 2 years, 60 credits. And then all of our students transfer seamlessly into the bachelor's degree program, which is 120 credits. So they get that 60 with us, all 60 transfer, 2 years for the 60, and then 2 more years for the 120, the bachelor. Our students are 70% Black, Indigenous, people of color, 99% Pell eligible, average age is 35. Does everybody know what Pell Grants are here? Okay. Federal Pell Grants are how our students pay for college. Federal Pell Grants it's a federal initiative where every U.S. citizen is allotted a full-time, lifetime Pell Award of $66,000 that you can draw down to pay for higher education. So that's 6 years or 12 semesters of funding that every U.S. citizen is able to draw down. Now, you have to fill out a FAFSA for eligibility, and people are eligible for Pell Grants based on your income status. So you have to make below a certain threshold in order to be eligible for Pell Grants. It's a really prominent and important federal initiative. Because our students have been incarcerated or are incarcerated, they all make below that income threshold. So nearly all of them are going to be Pell eligible. The nice thing about Minneapolis College is we're affordable. So our full cost of attendance is below the yearly Pell Award, meaning that students can pay for full cost of attendance utilizing their Pell Grant. So we've never taken a dollar out of a student's pocket to pay for higher education. It's all paid for from Pell Grants. And there's a long history there with Pell Grants being taken away and reinstated that we can get to later if y'all are interested.
And side note too, I graduated in the summer with my AA, and I'll be starting my BA this fall. So the program does work. Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Our students have a 90% course success rate. Course success is a C or higher. That's the metric that we track at Minneapolis College. 90% is astronomical. There's no other student population on the outside that has that high of a metric. And some folks, will say, we don't lower the standard when we go inside of prisons and we deliver classes. If anything, we raise the standard. So the classes aren't any easier, the homework isn't any different, the PowerPoints aren't changed at all. The reason we have a higher success metric, in my opinion, is because of the brilliance of our students and the dedication and the perseverance that they have. We hear time and time again from our instructors that it's the most engaged students that they've ever been around. And for higher ed instructors and professors like myself, coming out of COVID, trying to engage students it's been tricky. But every class that gets done on the inside, there's a line out the door to talk to the professor after class, to ask interesting questions, to ask for more resources, to open up the next 4 weeks of course shell so they can work ahead. Our students want to come out of incarceration with the tools they need to be successful. It's for themselves, it's for their families. This semester we had 86 students on the dean's list. That's a 3.5 GPA or above. And we always send them a dean's list letter on their tablet so they get a digital copy, and then we mail a physical copy as well. And even though we mail one physical copy, students always ask for like 3 or 4 copies.
I've made the dean list two semesters in a row now, and every time I've kept my my receipt,
Yeah.
my email and my letter, all of that. So yeah.
And our students want those extra copies, not for themselves. They want it for their kids, their moms, their grandmas, so they mail that out. Every night they get on the phone, they're talking with their families, they're talking with their kids who are also in school as well, talking about the philosophy that they went over in class or the sociological topic. So our students are dedicated on the inside, not just for themselves, but for their families and their communities. So we see our work just not affecting ourselves, but also the people around us. 95% of our students will release one day, and 70% will come to the metro area. Many are scholars, people of faith, leaders, educators, and pictures up there are from graduation from Lino Lakes Correctional Facility. So every spring we run a full graduation, all 3 correctional facilities, cap and gown. Our president comes in to speak. Every student gets to bring 2 family members in. It's some of the best times of our program. Geography is important. On the left-hand side, you'll see a map of Minnesota and all of the correctional facilities in the state. There's 11 of them. And on the right-hand side, the light blue is where Minneapolis College and Metro State are. And then the green highlights are where the correctional facilities are that we program at. So Lino Lakes, 22 miles to the north, Stillwater, 28 miles to the east, and Faribault down south. The TREC program, Minneapolis College, is the largest college and prison program in the history of the state. And we really just believe that our work has just begun. And part of that work goes beyond our institution and our program to where we're committed to developing an ecosystem across the state. So we can reach all 11 of those correctional facilities. And no matter where a student is coming home across the state, whether it's north to Fergus Falls, International Falls, Duluth, down south to Austin, Minnesota, to Marshall, we want to engage all of the public, private schools across the state to be ready and well-equipped to give the students resources they need to be successful when they come home. So right now, we feel like we have a great grasp on the metro area. And again, 70% of students come home to the metro. Now our work is largely out in rural areas where there's a lot of space in between, and there's a lot of community colleges and universities out in those spaces. And our work now is expanding beyond our college to engage that and really create an ecosystem across the state. What does success look like? you know, a lot of outside partners in the state typically use a metric called recidivism to measure success for formerly incarcerated people, and recidivism rate is the rate in which people are reincarcerated after they release. So a low recidivism rate means once folks leave prison, they're not coming back.
They have a better chance of success and not reoffending.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's a really important metric, but it can't be the only metric when we're thinking about success. So we do look at recidivism, but we also look at well-being. We look at happiness. We look at housing. Do you have a house? Is it a shared room? Do you have family? Do they have space? We look at connections to family. When you are released, are you re-engaged with your family and your community? Do you have a support system? Do you have a job that pays a living wage? So we've created a whole algorithm that is not just about recidivism. Though recidivism is a part of that algorithm, our algorithm for success really focuses on the whole person, from housing to well-being, to try to capture everything our students need in order to be successful on the outside.
Yeah. And just to piggyback on that, again, I was released in August, and I was released the second day of the semester, and the same day I was released, I went right to school. Same day. I was released at 7:30, I was in class at 3 p.m.
It's true.
And this is true, met him up there. And being at the TREC Center, I've literally, is like the foundation of my life. School, work, I got a vehicle, like I said, work, school, my family, everything has been almost centered or started from the TREC Center. You know, this hub, the center that we have is so great. It's a great space, and like I said, so many resources to just tap into and to get somebody's life together, you know, because that's essentially what happened. Like I said, the transition was pretty smooth back into society, seamless because of the TREC Center, for sure.
What does campus culture change mean?
Yeah. So when we first started the TREC program, you know, I said earlier that Minneapolis College is really well positioned for this work because we're affordable, and we're also geared towards non-traditional students, folks of color. You know, average age is 28 on campus. So we have a ton of support services on our main campus. We have a food pantry, we have housing navigators, we have counselors, mental health counselors. We have a ton of support services that are geared towards non-traditional students, marginalized folks that need extra resources.
There's a clinic.
A health, Boynton Health Clinic, the first, you know, real physical our students can get once they are released. But even with those resources, you know, we would bring our TREC students down to the housing navigator, and our students say, I'm looking for a house, a one-bedroom apartment, what do we have? And eventually our students would have to self-disclose that they do have a felony, right? They do have a criminal record. And at first, the housing navigator, you know, didn't know what to do, because there's not a lot of landlords or apartment complexes out there that are second chance, you know, living units that are willing to give someone a place to live without running a background check, or without, you know, without having fear. And so over the years, we've begun working with the housing coordinator, with all these support services, to include justice impacted, you know, the understanding of justice impacted, of having a criminal record. What does that mean, and how can we transform our services so that it can be beneficial to all students? So the campus culture, including justice impacted students in our support services, to see our other campuses as our campuses, the prisons as our campuses, as our students. So it's a continual effort. We've come a long ways, and we still have a long ways to go. Khalil was serious when he said that he showed up at the TREC Center the day he got released, after years of being incarcerated. I remember sitting with you late summer, and we were planning, sitting with him inside a Stillwater Correctional Facility, planning out his fall semester. And he got released, it was 2 or 3 days into the semester. Normally, I don't sign students up for classes. 2 days. I don't sign students up for classes when they're getting released after the start date of the semester. And, there's housing, there's so much to do upon release. And I remember sitting with Khalil, and he wouldn't take no for an answer.
No, I will not.
He was like, I need this, I want this, that structure in my life, it's what I've been doing. And I was adamant against it, but there was, knowing Khalil for multiple years and his dedication and the look in his eye, I signed him up. And I was kind of like, was that, I didn't know how it was going to turn out. And yeah, the very day he was released, he showed up to our TREC center. He was in class that afternoon, and he hasn't looked back since. So it's a big success story.
Have not.
What'd you do about housing that in that short notice?
Well, I had to figure it out. Luckily for me, I had family that was willing to take me in for a couple weeks. I ended up getting a job right away, and just buckled down, school and work. Saved up, got my own place by about 60 days out. 60 days out, I had my own place. Yep, still in school. So
And that's rare.
yeah,
Like, Minnesota Department of Correction does release people into homelessness.
yeah, absolutely,
Quite frequently.
absolutely.
Even with 6, 10, 20 years to figure out a plan of housing or support, getting someone their ID. Oftentimes those services fall short and students are released without a housing plan. And this was Khalil's case as well. He didn't have a place to go, but he made it work, He made it work for his goals, for his family. He did what he needed to. Just a couple pictures of our TREC center. Stop by anytime, open invitation. It's about 2,500 square foot space on our Minneapolis College campus. It is the first dedicated space on a higher education campus for justice-impacted students. The walls are covered with art, and all the art is done from our students on the inside who are currently incarcerated. They ship it out for donation to put it up in the TREC Center. We have a resource board with housing, food, clothing, emergency services. We go through about 5 pots of coffee a day.
Yes. My desk is in there. You don't see it. My little area, desk space, office is in there. You don't see it though.
Yeah. Khalil keeps us organized and tidy. He's wiping down tables. He's getting on me when the closet gets disorganized. It's a big deal. This is a space for our students. Our students say it's a space where they can kick off their shoes, where they can, feel welcomed and feel a place of belonging. Even though they've always been a Minneapolis College student, my students who have come from incarceration talk about this feeling of not belonging, where they can walk through a Walmart and they feel like people are always staring at them, and they wonder if they belong in community or belong in the world. And our students have told us that the TREC Center is a place where they feel like they belong, a place they can relax, the anxiety lowers a little bit, and it's a place for resources as well. We offer scholarship support to our students. So we have a ton of scholarships at Minneapolis College. Beverly, thank you for your work. In the last 3 years, we've given out $75,000 in scholarships to our TREC students that are coming home. Again, their full cost of attendance is paid for from their Pell Grants, and then these scholarships are on top of that. So this is actually money in their pocket. $1,000 a semester, $1,500 a semester, $500 a semester. And it's extremely vital for those times when they don't have housing or in between jobs. And it also doesn't make our students choose between going to school or supporting themselves. And Khalil and everybody else also does work while they go to school, but scholarships are huge for our students. It allows them to choose school and something else. So
Yeah, absolutely. I go to school and work because I have a family to provide for. These scholarships are amazing and so beneficial and help students in so many ways. The difficulty of focusing on academics while maintaining a household and work and your daily duties, that extra financial cushion is just is vital in this life. I'm very appreciative for that too. That these scholarships since being released have they've gotten me through rough patches. So that's great too.
Khalil's got his daughter Catalina here. And
Thank you.
and we were out in the lobby. You were talking about going to school and watching your kids, them watching you study.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about like the impact maybe it's had on family?
Yeah. Okay. It's been great. It's been wonderful. She's in kindergarten, so she doesn't really have too much homework yet. Yeah, but she sees me sitting down at that table studying every day. My boys do too, and her older sister does too. And it's wonderful when kids have expectations of you. And we all develop like patterns and behaviors, and when they start to expect you to come home and study, or they see you working, and they start to see these good traits and behaviors, and they start to expect that. And when you see the growth, when you see the growth in yourself, and then others start to see the growth, and then you see the growth in others and how you affect others, it's it's amazing, and it's really refreshing, and it's also funny and it's cute at moments, so yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know if we have time for Q&A. Is it okay? Yeah. Any questions you all have, what we presented or what we didn't, please feel free to ask. Go Linda, then Jared. Jared, yeah?
Inside these institutions, are there other home people? Inside the institutions, are there, metaphorically, a line of people who can't get into these programs that want to and could, or suited to it?
Go ahead.
So he can probably give you a more technical answer. I'll probably be a little bit more candid and speak a little bit more freely. On the inside, there are a lot of men that are wanting to get an education, higher education, but either there's a lot of circumstances, there's a lot of circumstances, criteria that you have to fit in order to be even eligible to apply. So it's very difficult to get into college. There's a long waiting list. So
Yeah, we have over 100-person waiting lists at all three of our correctional facilities. And these circumstances Khalil is talking about, they aren't our circumstances. We're an open access institution where if you have a GED or a high school diploma, you can be a Minneapolis College student. That is the only admissions criteria we have, GED or high school diploma, and you actually don't even have to prove it or produce those papers. You just have to let us know that you have one of those. The criteria is from the Department of Corrections, and it's based on behavior, or they have what's called a MinStar score, where every incarcerated person has a MinStar score based on behavior, where they do create some barriers on eligibility. But yeah, in general, we have over 100-person wait list at each correctional facility we're at, and there's hundreds of others who aren't on that wait list as well.
Could you put more people in classes? Do you have room in your program?
We expand nearly every semester that we operate. The bottleneck there is space and capacity for the Department of Corrections. For the last 30 years, prisons have never been built for college. And so we're utilizing a very small educational wing at each correctional facility that's used for like GED and GED testing. So we have 1 or 2 classrooms at each facility. And, this semester we're running 36 classes on the inside. So that's 21 different faculty members teaching 36 classes. We are full in those classrooms. They can only fit 20 or 25 students, so we're plump full. We're at capacity, and we're at the point now we're working with the DOC and legislators to try to build capacity, new buildings, new space, new classrooms. College and prison is here, it's here to stay, and we need to be building towards the future.
They do have the room for it, though. In the prisons, they do have the room for it.
There is a lot of, efficiency and spatial issues inside of correctional facilities. There is the space. We just needed to be dedicated for college. Other questions? Linda?
You've talked about the students who are pursuing an academic degree
Yep.
and going on to a BA. What percentage of the students decide to go into the trades and, are pursuing certificate programs?
It's a really good question. I would say coming home, on the inside, we can't offer all 105 of our degrees. We offer an AA Associate of Science in Business. We offer an AA in Liberal Arts. So there's not much choice for our students who aren't currently incarcerated. But when they come home, I would say it's probably 50-50. 50% of students go into the trades, 50% go into academic programming. I come from trades. I come from rural Minnesota. I come from a family of people that are in the trades. Through grad school, I worked in the trades. I believe in the trades. Workforce outlooks look great for the trades. But I also understand that trades have always been an option for incarcerated people, for our students, for poor folks, for folks of color. And when folks are incarcerated, they do have options for the trades, and they're told, they're pushed towards trades, and when they come home, that's going to be your option. That's where they're going to hire you as a felon. And I do a lot of work trying to reimagine with students the possibilities. You want to be a lawyer? Well, there's a lot of law schools out there nowadays that are actually looking for people that have a record, that have lived experience in incarceration inside the court systems, right? So we're working with different workforce sectors now to be better about, and to see the value in having someone that has experience being justice impacted. So it's probably 50-50 going into the trade. I love my students that go into the trades. I support them. I love it. But I also understand that trades have always been an option. I remember coming out of high school, for me it was football, it was the Army, or it was the trades. And I chose football. That got me to Liberal Arts College, to where I got into teacher education, critical thinking, education, and where I first really learned how to read. And I wouldn't have gotten there without having football as my vehicle. So I had to get pushed in a way to get out of the trades. There's nothing wrong with it, but it's reimagining a future beyond societal expectations.
We're coming a little bit closer to time. John, you and then Beverly, do you want to come forth then too and say a little bit about the tour?
You said you might get to this on the Pell Grants. Do you see any risk that the current administration is going to cut back that opportunity?
They just did.
It's a hard question.
It hasn't happened yet. I assume that cutoff is.
So, the new person in charge of education was just asked this question in a hearing: what are you going to do with Pell Grants if you abolish the Department of Education? What happens to Pell? And they responded that they actually want to expand Pell. Pell is for, people that are eligible for Pell are of a certain socioeconomic class. They are poor folks, which is the base of, you know, of the party that is currently making these decisions. So I actually feel like Pell grants are rather insulated right now, and I actually think our college and prison program is rather insulated as well. It's a bipartisan. Both sides of the aisle agree that college and prison is good. We agree it's good for vastly different reasons, but we both agree that college and prison is good. I don't know what will happen with the Department of Education, but I do feel that Pell Grants are insulated from that.
Cool.
Thank you all so much for your time, for being engaged, for being here. Open invitation to ever come to the TREC Center. Come visit us anytime.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mike. Isn't he amazing? I just love hearing Mike talk about this program, and his personal passion is quite evident. Now, let me see if, I think we're supposed to have another slideshow up here. Let me see if I can find it, maybe.
You can use that other mic on the podium if you want.
Oh, yeah, why don't we do that? There you go. We did have a slide. We do have a slide with a QR code for you guys. Let's see. Oh, here it is.
Well, while Beverly's checking that out, just let me say that next week we're going to have the Stevens Square Community Organization present. We here at Plymouth are located in Stevens Square, and we're going to hear about how we might better connect in various ways with the local organization. So should be a great presentation next week too.
Okay, and so April 30th, 9 a.m. to noon, and you can even stay for lunch too if you'd like. We are going to host a tour at Minneapolis College, and for those of you who are here, you could just put your phone up to this and QR code, and it will take you directly to a registration link. For others, if you're interested in attending this tour, you could just email us at foundation@minneapolis.edu. That's just foundation@minneapolis.edu. And I believe Bryce also has a sign-up sheet over there
with
too.
an email, we can get in touch with you too if you're interested. You're not expressing interest.
Yes, oh yeah, and this is a dedicated tour just for the Plymouth congregation.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
And speaking as one who, as I said at the beginning, was on the tour last fall, it's amazing. So please, seriously consider. It's worth your time.
Does it take the whole 3 hours?
We did.
It does, kind of, yes, because we go through the whole healthcare part of the college, which is quite large, then the trades, TREC. I think we're planning to go to the TREC Center and hit some other highlights. You can kind of come and go, like if you can only make an hour of it or whatever, you could come, you know, and then just leave as you need to. And there are places to sit down. Yes, we've learned, we've done this a few times, so we figured it out that we need to be strategic about where we go, when, and everything. But I actually suggested, well, should we cut it a little shorter? And everyone was like, no, we want to see all that stuff. So we're leaving it at this longer, time. But there are times where we just sit down maybe for 20 minutes or so and things like that.
Well, one more applause for our presenters.
Yes. Thank you. Thanks so much for having us, you guys.
They'll stay around just a little bit if you want to have a further conversation. Thank you.